Imagine coming home after a night you really shouldn't have, only to find yourself spiraling into a social media meltdown scene around the world. That's exactly what we're unpacking today, using the very specific and very public example of boxer Amir Khan.
Yeah, it's a story that goes way beyond celebrity gossip. We're using it as a lens to understand how paranoia, instant communication, and a dash of bad decisions can create a perfect storm.
Right. And just to set the scene for you, Amir Khan, successful boxer, known for his public persona, but also a bit of a reputation for drama in his personal life. But this particular night, it's next level.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that it all starts with Amir already in a vulnerable position. It's the early hours of the morning. He's sneaking back into his luxury home after a night of partying and infidelity. He's not just physically tired, but likely emotionally drained. Judgment, a little fuzzy.
Okay, so we're already talking about impaired judgment before things even really kick off. Not exactly a recipe for making rational choices.
Exactly. And of course, this being a story about a meltdown, it gets a whole lot more complicated. Amir finds his wife Fariel's phone just lying around. Now, most of us have probably felt that twinge of curiosity at some point, right? But what Amir does next is where this story takes this turn.
He goes full-on curiosity killed the cat, doesn't he? What's he find? What's the digital landmine waiting for him?
He finds a group chat where Fariel is boasting about an encounter with Anthony Joshua. Now, remember, this isn't just any guy. This is Amir's boxing rival. Talk about a double blow.
Okay, so not just the potential infidelity, but a public humiliation waiting to happen. I can see where this is going.
Yeah. And this is where we need to pause and really understand the psychology of what happens next. Amir's hit with this wave of betrayal, anger, probably humiliation. His emotional brain, what neuroscientists sometimes call the amygdala, basically hits the gas. And his rational brain struggles to catch up.
So he's not exactly thinking clearly. What's the first thing he does?
Well, instead of, having a calm, rational conversation, which is probably not happening at 3 a.m. even on a good day, he goes into immediate reaction mode. And this is where things go from bad to viral in record time. Amir bypasses any attempt at a private resolution, and fueled by, let's be honest, probably a cocktail of emotions and whatever remnants are left from his night out. He logs onto social media.
Oh boy, here we go. This is where it goes from a private matter to the whole world watching in real time. What does he do? What does this very public meltdown look like? He doesn't hold back, does he? What does he actually put out there for the whole world to see?
Oh, we're talking furious tweets, raw and unfiltered, detailing the alleged affair, calling out Anthony Joshua by name. It's like watching someone hit send on every emotional impulse that they're having, without a second thought.
And of course, this being the internet, those tweets explode in minutes. Suddenly, it's not just a personal drama, it's breaking news, trending across every platform. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone's weighing in.
This is where that need for instant gratification, that desire to strike back that Amir's feeling, completely backfires. Because he's just thrown himself into the center of a media firestorm that he can't control, and everyone gets pulled in.
So what about Anthony Joshua? Here he is dragged into this very public and very messy situation. How does he respond?
And this is what I find so interesting. Anthony Joshua stays completely silent, doesn't engage with the accusations, doesn't fire back, nothing. Which, let's be honest, just makes the whole thing even more intriguing.
Right. You have to wonder what's going through his mind. Is he taking the high road? Trying to protect his own reputation? Yeah. It definitely adds another layer to this whole very public meltdown.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most telling responses are the ones that are never made publicly. And in the age of social media, where everyone has a platform, sometimes saying nothing speaks volumes.
So we've got Amir on this Twitter rampage, Anthony Joshua staying silent, and meanwhile, the whole world's watching this train wreck unfold in real time. What kind of fallout are we talking about here?
Well, the immediate impact is obvious, right? Headlines, gossip columns, everyone's talking about it. But this is where we start to see the ripple effects. It's not just about Amir and Fariel anymore. Their families get dragged in. Their careers take a hit. Even sponsors start distancing themselves.
It's a reminder that in the digital age, there's no such thing as a purely private matter, especially when you're in the public eye.
Exactly. And this is where those impulsive decisions, made in the heat of the moment, can have lasting consequences.
So let's talk about those consequences. The dust settles, the social media storm dies down. What's left in the wreckage? I think for me, it really drives home the damage to his reputation. It's a classic example of how quickly things can go from bad to career-defining, especially in the brutal court of public opinion.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and a single moment to destroy it. And in the age of social media, that moment can be a tweet, a post, a screenshot shared a million times over.
Right. And for Amir, this wasn't just a PR nightmare. It had real-world consequences. We're talking potential damage to his boxing career, the loss of sponsors, and let's not forget the strain it puts on his personal relationship.
It's a stark reminder that there's a human cost to these very public meltdowns, and it goes beyond just the individual at the center of the storm.
Absolutely. We often forget that there are families, friends, even colleagues who get caught in the crossfires, and the damage can be lasting.
So what's the lesson here for you? This isn't about excusing anyone's actions, but rather about recognizing how a perfect storm of emotions, poor judgment, and the nature of our always connected world can lead to devastating outcomes.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale for all of us, really. We all have those moments where we're angry, hurt, tempted to lash out. But this whole deep dive into Amir Khan's meltdown is a powerful reminder that in the digital age, those impulses can have far-reaching consequences.
Think of it this way. Every time you hit send, you're essentially making a choice. A choice about how you want to present yourself to the world, about the kind of digital footprint you want to leave behind.
It's about taking that extra beat, that moment of pause, especially when emotions are running high, because once something is out there in the digital ether, it can be impossible to fully take back.
And it leaves us with a final and I think incredibly relevant question for you to consider. In an age where private matters can become public fodder in the blink of an eye, is there ever truly a way back from this kind of exposure? Something to ponder as you navigate your own digital life.
It's a question we all need to be asking ourselves. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive into the anatomy of a very public meltdown. Remember, the next time you're about to hit send on that angry text or post, take a moment to breathe, to think, to choose wisely, because the internet never forgets.